Today we're gonna make a concrete panel with lights that you can display on your shop, restaurant, company, or even your home. Let's make more. I started by drawing a template with all the lights in place and printed everything mirrored in regular paper. Of course, you can write any word you like, the name of your brand or your business logo. For the mold, I reused some insulation foam board that I had laying around and glued the letters with spray adhesive. You can cut your artwork just using an x-acto knife, but since I have a bandsaw, I will take the opportunity to use it since I rarely do. So I cut all the letters as best as I could, following the outside of the line and also the inside shapes of the R and the O. To mark the place for the light sockets, I use a pointy tool to transpose the circles to the foam board. Before sanding, I want to make a shout out to JET for providing this air filtration system to my studio. I've been using it for about a month and I can totally feel the difference of having dust-free air getting to my lungs. It comes with a remote controller and has 3 speeds and 3 time settings, so I can boost it up and get the whole studio air cleaned in less than 5 minutes. I was really shocked when I looked at the filter after a single month of use. Can you imagine all this crap in your lungs? Damn! Alright, let's sand these edges smooth. To make the mold box, I used the same material, and again, you can cut it with a knife, but I just enjoy using power tools, as you can see. I assembled the box using screws, and of course this is not going to be incredibly solid, but it's solid enough for the purpose. I'm not sure how it would work on a bigger scale like a concrete countertop or such, but for this small box it was perfectly fine. Also, this material is pretty easy to cut and lightweight and cheap, so I was very happy to see it work so well. To make room for the sockets, I cut some PVC pipe into slices and picked up some washers and big thick screws to press the little pipes tight against the letters. These screws were long enough so that the letters were also secured to the base of the box. I used some plasticine to seal the inside edges, even though I didn't have any major gaps, but I thought it might be important to show you this step because things can really go wrong if the mold is leaking. It's finally time to mix up the cement. Here I used white cement along with gray cement to get a light gray color in the end. I thought it would look cool if I added some wood shavings to the mix and hopefully get them popping up here and there in the concrete surface, so I recycled some of the wood trash. In the end, it wasn't as visible as I expected, so maybe I should have put a lot more into the mixture. I sprayed some Vaseline around the PVC pipes to prevent the concrete from sticking too much to them before pouring. To level it up and release the air bubbles from the mixture, I shook the table up and down for about 1 minute. I left it to cure for 48 hours, and about 12 hours later I came to scrape the cement residue from the washers and screw heads to facilitate the removal afterwards. The box walls popped out quite easily, which gave me a satisfactory feeling. This is the moment of truth, and I was a bit nervous to see how well the letter shapes came out. I used a chisel as well as a fork and a screwdriver to pop out the rest of the foam. It was a lot of fun to see the negative shapes taking place while being careful not to destroy the concrete edges. I turned the panel upside down and popped out the little pipes using a piece of the same pipe and a mallet. I mixed up a little bit of cement to make some repairs on the M and let it to dry for 1 day before correcting the shape. Since I used an old piece of foam board, the dirt and varnish that it had went over to the concrete, so I sanded the entire surface to get rid of that. I used a really cheap block plane to create a bevel all around, and couldn't forget my awesome dust mask during all these steps. I've been using RZ masks for the last few months, and I really like their simplicity and convenience. They are very lightweight and comfortable to wear. It is also practical to put on and off with a Velcro strap. Despite their simplicity, the RZ masks are very efficient in keeping the dust away from your lungs, and you can pick the size that best suits your face. Another thing that I really like about these masks is that they keep the skin cool and don't trap the moisture and sweat inside. You can get the masks in lots of different colors as well as the valves, so you can make the cooler combination possible. And by supporting my sponsors, you are also supporting me, so thanks in advance. Now let's get back to more. These were the smallest sockets I could find, and I made them even smaller by removing all the plastic caps so they would fit perfectly in the holes. To wire them together, I used little pieces of electrical wire. There's maybe a better way to do this, but this method was what I could think of at the moment. Because the concrete is conductive, I had to cover really well the outer faces of the sockets with electrical tape in order to avoid any metallic parts touching the concrete. Then I inserted all the sockets in the holes and wired everything in parallel. Testing the first lamp. These are the smallest 220 volts lamps I could find, and they are 5 watts each. The glass tops are straight, which I found really interesting and very unusual. Okay, so the concrete and light work is done. Now I'm going to make a wooden frame around it. The process was very simple. I just made 45-degree cuts and kept a few millimeters over the real size of the concrete piece to create a gap that will give it a floating look. I also made 4 corner pieces to hold the frame to the concrete from the back. I created some pocket holes just by using a countersink drill bit at a shallow angle. I glued the frame and clamped it using a strap clamp. I sanded everything smooth so I could finally apply some quick drying finish. I laid out the place to drill the holes in the concrete and screwed everything together. Before applying the screws to the concrete, I inserted plastic wall plugs in each hole so everything is properly secured. And it's done! I hope you enjoyed this project and found this process of creating concrete molds interesting. I would love to see your take on this one, maybe using some words you like, or your business name or logo, so you can tag me on your social media when posting some pictures of your creation. Thank you so much for watching, and create more, do more, and live more.